I'm Nicholas Penrake, and you're listening to A Trader's Life, the podcast where I get to talk to successful traders about their approach to trading, how they started out and went from broke or breaking even to pulling in thousands of dollars a week. Trading is a tough game. They say only around 5% of those who try actually make a profit. Join me for A Trader's Life to glean some valuable insights from the market wizards I get to talk to. My guest this week is Louise Nonweiler, an award-winning hypnotherapist and life coach who specialises in helping traders overcome limiting beliefs and adrenaline overload when trading. She has successfully transformed the lives and fortunes of many a troubled trader. So, how does she do it? Hi, Louise. How's it going?
Very well, thanks, Nick. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah. So, just to establish how we got to know each other, I found you on LinkedIn. I was particularly interested in finding out about how you help traders overcome fears, disappointments, and losses in the markets. You use a combination of hypnosis, coaching, and various techniques, so that your clients get to see great change within a short space of time.
Yes.
So, tell us how you achieve those results.
So there's a few services that I offer for traders. The first one is one-to-one private sessions, which are online currently during these times. So basically how it works is the first session is about getting to know my client, finding out as much information as I can about their challenges, the issues that they're facing with their trading. Then we'll talk about their goals, what they want to achieve in the sessions. And, we'll talk together about how we can work together, how I can help them. I'll explain in depth about hypnosis, why it can be so successful for many things, including helping to overcome fears, challenges in trading. It can also help with, many different things, controlling emotions, having a more positive mindset, focus. So then I do start the hypnotherapy in the first session for clients because I think it's important to start the work so that they see the changes straight away.
Sure.
Generally, with hypnosis and the one-to-one sessions, it's between 4 to 6. But in saying that, I have been seeing traders for many years just so that they can keep on top of things, keep grounded, keep aligned with their goals. And, I see some clients every month, every 2 months for that.
Yeah. Are you seeing, I guess you're seeing mainly professional traders?
Yes. So I see traders from all walks of life, actually, Nick. Traders that work for banks, big corporations, companies, mainly for sort of stress, helping to relax more, to become more focused. Also helping with sleep, because sometimes sleep can be a problem for them. But then that's linked to sometimes when we feel quite stressed. I also see traders that work for themselves, retail traders, cryptocurrency traders. Yeah, so from all walks of life, really.
Yeah. And do they typically tend to come and see you when they've hit a crisis point, or would they be perhaps coming to see you because they're intrigued to improve their performance? Or is there a mix of the two?
That's a good question, actually. They tend to contact me when they're at crisis point.
Yeah.
Very common, yes.
Yeah. And can that be really quite severe? Really sort of almost losing control and verging on suicidal, perhaps?
Yes. I've had some traders contact me in the past where they've blown multiple accounts and they've just got to the point where finances are becoming an issue. Their sleep's getting affected. It's affecting relationships and all areas of life, really. And they come to me literally feeling helpless. And that's where I come in straight away to help them.
Yeah, I went to your one of your YouTube videos actually and listened to the hypnosis, at least the one that was there online, and I did in fact find it quite relaxing. I went through the whole thing, and it's quite surprising how it starts to work on you.
Thank you. Yes.
It was a tense day, and it seemed to be the right thing for that moment, for sure.
I mean, I can't speak highly enough about hypnosis. It's very relaxing, it's extremely safe. And as well as that, on top of that, you've got all of these positive suggestions going into the subconscious. It can help with sleep as well. And then, you know, listening to hypnosis at night time really sets us up for the next morning, for the next day. And it's like repetition as well. The more we listen to something, the more we do something, the more it becomes, you know, a sort of learned behavior or habit.
Yeah. So how often do you get your clients to do the hypnosis by themselves? I mean, do you give them a sort of regime to do this once every day or every other day?
I mean, with the one-to-one sessions, they're generally sort of every week with clients, like the private online sessions. Sometimes I do offer recordings for clients that they can listen to every night in between the sessions.
Yeah.
And I do sort of suggest to listen to the recording for 21 days. And the reason being is because it does take 21 days to break habits and behaviours, and it's pretty much to the day, really. It's quite
okay,
amazing.
Really? That's interesting. So it's like, well, I suppose that would appeal to traders because we're constantly looking at patterns and how they repeat themselves. So
yeah,
if you say it's going to reoccur in 21 days, there's certain logic for a lot of
absolutely.
traders, probably.
But it certainly works, yeah.
If they're only sort of going as far as day 10, you generally find that they haven't hit the mark where they're noticing substantive changes.
It's normally how hypnosis works is it's generally subtle. The changes are subtle. And then over time, they become more evident, more reinforced, they become stronger until it gets to a point generally where a person says, I'm in a good space. And that does, or it can happen, you know, after or within the 21 days.
And does this transform the client's trading results as well as make them feel calmer? Does it also lead to better performance?
It absolutely does. And the reason being is because if we're trading, we've got these fears, these limiting beliefs, self-doubt. It affects our trading in different ways. So self-destructive behavior, revenge trading, impatience, the list is endless. So once we're in a space where we have emotional control, these fears are eliminated, we've got good self-belief, and, you know, that can have a positive impact in how a person trades.
Yeah. So you started obviously as a hypnotherapist and you treated a wide range of people, no doubt. And then you just started to notice, presumably, that a lot of the people coming to you were traders or perhaps investors, but, you know, living that high stress sort of lifestyle, and that's why you became a specialist, right?
Yes, absolutely. When I initially started out as a hypnotherapist, I was seeing clients mainly for stress, anxiety, sleep problems, even weight loss and no smoking. And then I traded myself a few years ago, and then I thought about, well, why not try and help traders? Because going through the emotions myself, you know, I saw a big gap in the market for this.
Yeah.
And so I built kind of a new website, advertised, and then it literally went on from there. Word of mouth, referrals, and it went from strength to strength, really.
Do you teach clients a mindset that enables them to cut losses ruthlessly and hold on to winners?
I do.
A lot of traders talk about that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what I find with traders is their entry point can generally be quite good. So the entry is not as bad as the exit. Traders do struggle a lot with exiting trades. They exit too early, or they sort of overtrade, the revenge trading where, you know, they kind of blow their accounts.
Yeah.
So what I teach is a breathing technique, which really helps. That's something that I work with generally in a second session with traders. I also teach kind of mindfulness, to be more in the moment, visualization techniques in between the sessions. And all of these tools and techniques help traders to kind of stay grounded, more composed, and to make the right decisions at the right time.
Yeah. So when you were having a go at trading, how did you get on yourself?
Well, I have to be honest, I experienced all of the emotions and fears that traders face
Yeah,
on a daily
yeah,
basis, really.
yeah.
The fear of losing.
No end to it, is there?
Absolutely. I mean,
You have a good run, and then it's back to that horrible, gut wrenching, adrenaline pumping
absolutely. Yeah.
experience.
You know, trading, and I do say this to clients, it can test every emotion that we have. It can help us to become more self-aware, which is, very good, but it can also test us to the limit where we just find it very difficult to continue.
Yeah,
And that's why I feel the success rate long term for traders is quite small.
yeah. The burnout must be
Yes.
even if you're not losing money, just the sheer burnout of the stress. The stress is causing. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
yeah,
trading brings out the fight or flight in us, and that's a fact. It brings out the
yeah,
fight or flight, so we're constantly running on adrenaline. There's all of these emotions coming up, fears, self doubt. I mean, it's a long list, really. And it can take a lot of work and a lot of inner strength to get into a place where we have that controlled and we have the right mindset and emotional control.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it almost sounds like you really do need hypnotherapy just to sort of stay stable. I mean, the way
Mm.
a bit like meditation or just healthy walking, or it is sort of it's so extreme in its nature for the largest part that you need some kind of extra strategy rather than just telling yourself, "Oh, stay calm, it'll be okay," with money running out of your account.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's easier said than done. And I think, with hypnosis, the reason why it can be very successful for traders is because it works with the subconscious part of our mind. It's easy for us to sit in front of a screen and say, right, okay, I want to get my 50 pips today. I'm going to stay calm. But that doesn't always happen. In fact, it rarely happens,
yeah,
especially if the market's volatile. So going back to the hypnosis, because it works with the subconscious, it's where we kind of can change beliefs, behaviors, bad habits, helping us to focus more and to stay in control generally. Yeah.
when you talk about the subconscious, can you perhaps define that a little bit better for us in terms of how you penetrate the subconscious through what you do?
What I do is literally, it's about guiding a person into relaxation, into hypnosis, and that's just by using the sound of my voice. So it's more about the tonality. So it's a nice, relaxed kind of going deeper. What that does is that helps a person to go into a deeper state of relaxation. Now, the reason I do that as a hypnotherapist is because the subconscious part of your mind becomes more open, more awake, if you like, to receiving positive suggestions, nice images. It's basically kind of quietening the conscious mind so that the subconscious mind becomes more open to receiving this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you tailor the hypnotherapy for a trader? Perhaps that would mean use the same kind of language that he or she might be familiar with, or do you bring concepts around trading into the way you use hypnotherapy? Do you use sort of the language, if you like, of trading
Yes.
to help with that?
There's a couple of ways I do work. Every session for every client is different. I never read from scripts. I kind of pick up on their language. I sometimes hear what's not being said as opposed to what's being said. I do occasionally work intuitively, so in the hypnosis, things will come up that I know is going to help the trader, is going to help the person progress and the changes. So really, I work on an accumulation of different things using their language. I also find out, what their kind of most dominant sense is, whether it's visual or audio, and kind of work with that as well. So, yeah, a number of different things, really.
Yeah. Without giving away names and so on, is there an example of a great result that you can share with me? with a particular client or a scenario, maybe?
Yes, yeah, of course. There are quite a few. And there's two different things that I do, is the one-to-one sessions, but also there's a program which I created, which is the trading mindset program. Both have received really good kind of positive feedback. But I guess going on to the one-to-one clients, I worked with one trader that was trading for about 20 years. He worked for a bank, had extreme anxiety every time he traded, but he continued, over the couple of decades, decided that he wanted to trade on his own, independent trader. And then I think, he reached crisis point where he had blown many, many accounts, and he contacted me.
Yeah.
So we worked together for quite a few months, but within a short space of time, he really worked well with hypnosis, with the sessions, and he literally did a 180 very quickly. And we actually had contact a couple of weeks ago, and he's in a great place. His trading is fantastic. He makes profit every month. He's in a place where he wants to be, and he's actually enjoying trading instead of being really fearful of it. So
yeah, wow, that's quite a turnaround, isn't it? 20 years of stress, and then he comes to you, and he's okay,
and he's sleeping really well, which is really refreshing, because he literally didn't sleep. He had an insomnia.
Well, it's the adrenaline, isn't it? It just keeps you. It's almost like coffee, really, late at night.
So that's just one of the success stories. I do find what I do extremely rewarding, especially when they give you good feedback. And
no, exactly. Yeah. And so, how long have you been doing this now? So, like 10, 20 years?
Quite a few years now. So I became a life coach back in 2009, when I was living out in Australia. From then I started coaching clients. I moved back to the UK about 10 years ago. And then I became a hypnotherapist then, and since then, really, started to see clients. Well, I've been seeing clients for many years now. So.
And what's a typical day like, or I should say a week? Is it lots of clients? Or do you travel? Do you go to talk on shows like this, or publicly?
No, I actually, a lot of my time this year, I suppose it's been because of what we're going through at the moment. It's all online. I created the trading mindset program, which became live this year, which is fantastic. That was good timing. So my week generally is, I give myself some time off because I need to have that time to be 100% for clients when I do see them. So I try and find a kind of a good work-life balance with what I do, really.
Yeah, I imagine it's quite exhausting for you as well at times, because it's a very emotional. Even though you're bringing down emotions in your clients, that's quite a task, isn't it? So it must be at times quite draining almost.
Of course, and there's a work that happens in between sessions and after sessions, because there's emails that you need to follow up on. If a client needs to speak to you in between the sessions, I have to be there. It's ongoing support that I offer for my clients.
Yeah.
Sometimes I read their journals before sessions to see how their trading's gone over the last week or two. So it's pretty busy.
Yeah. Do you ask them to submit that, or do they just sort of voluntarily say, I'll send you my journal, you see the crisis I'm in?
Well, it works both ways, really. I always suggest to every client, every trader, that they journal, because I feel it's really an important part of trading. And most of them do, which is fantastic. So they like to share. They like to share their screens, their trading platforms, to show me, how the trading's been, sharing their journal to see how the week's been. Sometimes there can be some comments in there from if they've had a bad week, which I understand. So, it's but it helps me. It helps me prepare for the next session. And
of course. Things. So how's your next month or so looking? Have you got a lot of work lined up?
Yes, it's busy for the next 2 months actually. There is time, I sort of block out certain days of the week for myself. But over the next sort of 6 to 8 weeks, it's pretty busy with different things and with clients.
Yeah. So when you said earlier you generally go for a sort of 21-day program, when you take on clients, do you charge by the hour, or do you charge as a sort of block treatment, or how do you work with your sort of business side of things?
Yeah, so with one-to-one clients, there's 2 options really. They can pay session to session, or they can block book. It's entirely up to them, depending on their financial situation as well. I do find lately that a lot of clients do like to block book, so they'll book a session of 5. But I sort of leave it up to them, whatever suits them, really.
Yeah. So, and where are you based at the moment?
I'm in Oxfordshire.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
And you do everything online. I suppose it's pretty much impossible at the moment, isn't it, to see people face to face?
Yes. I mean, I used to work from a therapy centre not too far away, but during sort of these unprecedented times, I decided to bring everything online. But it works well because a lot of my clients are overseas. Some of them are in different parts of the UK. So logistically, it would be a challenge to get to me face to face. And it's just as effective as face to face online. So,
last thing I wanted to ask you about NLP. I mean, do you use that at all as part of the kind of rewiring of your traders' brains?
So I like to teach clients another technique in some of the sessions, and that's an NLP technique, your neuro-linguistic programming. It's called anchoring a resourceful state, and it's a very, very powerful technique, which can simply be taught within 15 minutes. So what I do before I do the hypnosis in the session, I literally ask the client to watch me and follow everything that I do. So I ask the client to take themselves back to a nice time, a memory, or they can imagine it, where they feel or felt really confident, really in control, happy, basically taking them back to a time which made them feel good in different ways. So during this time, I bring in the images for them, bring in their senses. What's really important here is bringing in the feelings and the emotions that they felt during this time. Then I ask them simply, when they've got that image, the feelings really strong, to simply pinch their thumbs and their forefingers together.
All right.
So what they're doing there is they're anchoring a resourceful state. So we go through this technique about 5 times, and what that does is it kind of reprograms, rewires the mind, that every time that they pinch their thumbs and fingers together, they're in that place, they're in that, confident, happy, relaxed, all of these good emotions. And so it's another technique that they can have and always use in between sessions and, when we finish our work together.
The full package, I would say, with techniques to
to
reorientate people. Yeah. Good. Well, I'm going to leave it there, Louise. It's great. Thanks for talking to me.
Thank you, Nick. It's been a pleasure.
Very interesting. Thank you. If you're a trader and interested in finding out more about Louise's mindset and psychology for traders, her website is simply hypnosisfortraders.co.uk. Bye for now.